5 things you didn't know about Call Me By Your Name. Number 1. One rehearsal only. Achieving the perfect dialogue and scenes that audiences see in the final version usually necessitates many hours of rehearsing before shooting, both on and off the set, but not in this case. Call Me By Your Name only had one rehearsal. Luca Guadagnino's direction consisted of a single directive: Elio and Oliver roll around in the grass and kiss. After the two had been doing so for a while, crew members separated them and they discovered the director had left a while ago. In an interview with Ellen DeGeneres, Hamme recounted how he and Chalamet shrugged their shoulders, got down on the ground and began kissing, but Guadagnino soon interrupted them. The director said, "Stop, what are you doing? I want you two to make out like you want to make out with each other, passionately." Hamme then said, "So then we start making out, and then we're making out, and nobody's saying stop." Hamme continues, "And all of a sudden we both stop and we look, and Luca has just walked away. He just left us there rolling around in the grass." Number 2. The movie is not about sex. While the novel is known for having numerous explicit sex scenes, the film does not adhere to this aspect of the source material. Luca Guadagnino, the director, stated several times that he wanted to do explicit sex scenes only if they felt natural to the environment and made sense for the characters. Guadagnino said, "In my opinion, that was the moment when I was leaving the lovers alone. I didn't want to make a movie about the lust of two bodies." He then added, "Call Me By Your Name is a movie about love. It's never about showing a raunchy moment of sex, or whatever kind of sex they were having. I don't know how these guys were having sex. That's not the point." He continued, "And also, I was never trying to make a mainstream film. I never considered whether anything we were filming would annoy a mainstream audience. That was never a consideration. The film's goal was to be driven by emotion and feeling rather than gratuitous nudity for the sake of it." Guadagnino's talent as a director shines through in the final product. Number 3. No auditions needed. Surprisingly, neither of the main characters' actors had to audition for the part. This is made even more fascinating by the incredible chemistry between Chalamet and Hamme. Luca Guadagnino cast Timothée in 2013 after being introduced to him by the actor's agent. Armie, on the other hand, caught the director's attention with his performance in The Social Network, and he made the decision immediately. In an exclusive clip from the home release, Guadagnino said, "I immediately realized that Timothée was Elio. Not because he is like Elio, but because the intelligence of Timothée was perfect for the complexity of the role. So once I became the director, for me it was a no-brainer, Timothée." He then added, "And Armie and we met 7 years ago when I was here to promote I Am Love, and I saw Armie in The Social Network and have been a big fan since then." Chalamet first met with Guadagnino to discuss the project when he was 17, 3 years before filming began. As Hamme recalls, he had a slightly longer wait between his first meeting and actually getting to make the movie. He said, "I went and had a wonderful afternoon with Luca. I went to his place and we sat for hours and talked about literature and art and film and everything." He then said, "And it was just one of those beautiful, beautiful conversations, and I walked out of it and I was like, I nailed that meeting, and I didn't hear anything from him for about 6.5 years. Number 4. Sneaky earpiece. While the film's romance is charming and heartwarming, it unfortunately comes to a bittersweet conclusion, as almost every summer season must. As Oliver moves on to a new town with a new partner, Elio is still left at home to process everything he has just experienced, while surrounded by the backdrop of his summertime bout of excitement with Oliver. In one particular of the most emotionally draining and closing scenes, Elio stares somberly into the digicam, reminiscing on his short-lived adore when the emotional masterpiece, Visions of Gideon, by Sufjan Stevens, performed in the background. It's impossible to deny the raw emotion displayed by Chalamet in this scene, but you might be surprised to learn that he was listening to the exact same track while the scene was being filmed. In order to get us tuned into the emotion intended for the scene, Timothée Chalamet confirmed via DVD commentary that he essentially wore a Wi-Fi earpiece with Visions of Gideon synced up with the film so that Elio could portray complementary emotions to the tone of the song. Number 5. The film is dedicated to Bill Paxton. Many people were puzzled by the dedication because the legendary actor, who died on February 25, 2017, was not involved in the production of Call Me By Your Name in any way. As producer Peter Spears explained, My husband, Brian Swardstrom, was Bill's best friend and agent for almost his entire career. Brian is also the agent of Timothée Chalamet. Brian and Bill came to visit us on the set while we were shooting in Crema, Italy. Peter then added, Bill and Luca became friends, as they had been great admirers of each other's work for many years, and Luca chose to honor his memory by dedicating the movie to him. A very moving gesture for which Brian and I will be forever grateful.